Chris, how are you? Good morning. Wanted to make sure I got you guys first, and now I'm hopping on the YouTube stream, getting everything set up. Good morning. How's it going, you guys? Stockfather, Paul. Yeah, we got news coming. I don't know what the news is going to do. Let me pull up Financial Juice and double check the times. So we have 15 minutes after the open, we have PMI, and then another one 30 minutes after the open. So 9:45 and 10 o'clock. All right, let me mark off some of our overnight levels. Asia low, London low. Let's see if we can get some sort of liquidity sweep bounce from one of these. All right, so far it's rejecting VWAP. I didn't put our London high up here. So I have a couple of VWAPs on here. This is the session VWAP, that blue one right there. It rejected that, and this is the current low VWAP. If it breaks below that, I could see momentum shifting back down. It's kind of why I put it there, just to see where the momentum is. All right, let's mark off ES levels 2. London low and Asia low are right in the same general area. So that'd be a nice little liquidity sweep area if we are going to go long. But I don't know. This looks like it's wanting to retrace some. I wasn't watching things last night, but this move up at the open kind of just grabbed that previous week high liquidity and rejected. That would have been a nice short opportunity if we were watching. I was hanging out watching Christmas movies though with my kids. But that was a nice short opportunity last night, that's for sure. All right, so the game plan I drew up last night was kind of watching the 330 level, 25, 330-ish, this gray shaded box. That was what I was hoping would hold as support if we were going long. But it fell below that and kind of gapped down. We had that big kind of slow grind up over the holiday week with not a whole lot of volume. So I could see us needing a pullback if we don't get back above this London high level. So possible scenarios I'm watching for, if we just stay under VWAP and stay weak at the open, we could just drop straight from here. If we get a bounce at the open, we could come up to this London high, grab that liquidity, and then reject back down. But we also do have news. So good time to stay patient and see what the market brings. Yeah, Chichamis, I feel you on that. Hard to trust last week's volume levels. That's actually why, if you notice on my chart, I don't have like the previous session value area high, value area low, because Friday doesn't really count to me. So I could have marked off Wednesdays, I guess, but that was so long ago. So really, I just marked off the previous week levels. And then I have the higher time frame support and resistance. That's another reason, in addition to the news, another reason I'm kind of just going to stay patient this morning. I think there might be some kind of processing what happened last week with the low volume grind up. The way things dropped last night, kind of leaning towards it going down and retracing some of that move from last week. But we shall see. News this morning could change a lot of that. We got market open in about 6 minutes. Still holding above that anchored VWAP from this recent low. That's kind of been support for the last couple hours. We'll see if it holds or if it just keeps dumping. Stinger, good. I'm glad you can see the numbers. Yeah, I did the nitro version for the Discord stream. If we don't hold this London and Asia low level, like if we don't come down here and get a good bounce and we stay heavy, levels down below this previous week point of control is a decent one, 24,940-ish, and then this zone further down, like 24,800. But who knows? We could get some bullish news and this whole thing just jumps back up. Jay, I'm not saying there wasn't money to be made Friday. There was some great price action. It just wasn't levels that I wanted to mark off on my chart just because it wasn't a full trading day. Anyone else feeling excited to get back to trading? I don't know if any of you guys took off Thursday, Friday, so it was like 4 days in a row of not trading. I think I'm excited about just getting back into a routine with my kids back in school, back to trading, back to all the projects I have going on. You traded through the holidays. You're a beast. Love it. I think I was a scaredy cat to try to trade on Thursday and Friday. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't trade on Friday. Wasn't Friday when the whole CME crash thing happened? That would have been a stressful situation for sure. That's wild, by the way. I didn't really read the details on it, but I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I've seen like Project X outages and Trade of 8 outages, but I've never seen the whole CME go down. That was crazy. Yeah, I feel you on the workout routine, Chichamas. I worked out a couple times while I was away at my father-in-law's, but definitely wasn't eating our normal food and drank more than normal. Like I hardly ever drink. So just kind of feeling blah. It was hard to get up this morning. So yeah, glad to get back into a routine. All right, market's about to open. Let's see what we get. Definitely going to stay patient this morning with news coming up and kind of sitting right in the middle of some of my levels. Pretty big jump up. A little bit of choppiness this morning. Looking like it wants to go down. Let's see what happens if it comes down to this London low and Asia low. Possible liquidity grab. Goodness, this is choppy. Trying to break necks this morning. All right, while we're waiting for some sort of direction and probably market waiting for news, I'll start marking off our levels. I like to make the New York anchored VWAP that light blue. And then so far, this is our 15-minute low. Both ES and NQ are coming back to VWAP. See if it breaks through or if it rejects again and comes back down. That was a nice little rejection. That's a decent level to reject. That's also that support resistance zone that I was talking about. If we held above it, I'd be looking for longs. If we held below, I'd be looking for shorts. So I like that level. Don't want to take a short right now just because it's so early in the open. We do have news coming, and I could see it actually coming up higher to this London high and rejecting from there if it does. So just watching for now. Patience paid off there. Glad I didn't take that short on the initial rejection of VWAP. Man, this isn't pretty for longs or shorts. I mean, zooming out, that 5-minute candle looks decent for longs, but having to sit through that chop does not look like fun. Usually when I take a trade right at the open, I want it to be like a momentum trade. Like, just get it over with. Don't make me sit through the chop. We might be waiting until 20 minutes from now, really, after the 10 o'clock news before we get some good direction. Stinger, you have that as last week's previous week's point of control? As in 2 weeks ago? Or are you talking about like last week's? I have previous week point of control down at 24,940. I have previous week's value area high up at 25,295. I can double check mine here in a bit too. Make sure I got it right. Goodness, what a move down. That's what I do too to get the previous week's numbers. Now you're making me wonder if I marked it off wrong. Periodic volume profile? Is that a tool on TradingView? I don't know if I'm familiar with that. Can you copy trade Lucid Flex accounts? Yes, you can. You can copy trade up to 5. Actually, technically you can copy trade 10. You can have a max of 10 accounts, 5 funded, and then 5 just on the back burner, ready to go. In case you breach your funded accounts, you have 5 ready to go. All right, we're coming down to London low. Let's see what happens at London low, Asia low area. See if we get a bounce here. The 15-minute opening range is about to be set. We also have news in 1 minute. That was a decent little liquidity grab of London low. Several reasons I didn't take the trade. One is ES is not at the London low. And news in 1 minute. Didn't want to mess with it. Was that the news we were waiting for? That was the excitement? Or are we not going to get the real excitement until the one at 10 o'clock? Goodness, I don't like this, you guys. It's ugly. $10 a.m. should be the wild one. Yeah. Kind of what I'm thinking. That was a nice bounce off the London low, Stinger. And you definitely could have taken it. I was watching ES too, and ES wasn't even close to that London low, but it was a clean bounce off the 15-minute opening range low for ES. So could have had some confluence there. I think the biggest reason I didn't take it was that all happened like 1 minute before news was supposed to come out. How many contracts do I typically buy or trade? I usually aim to risk about $200 per trade, especially if it's like a new account with haven't built up a buffer. So it depends on what my stop loss is. Great way to blow accounts this morning. Yeah. It's kind of what it's looking like right now. All right, ES is coming up to London high and the opening range high. Looking like it's breaking through. If we get a rejection from this London high and it starts to close back below the opening range low, I would be interested in a short there. Come on, you're just going to reject from there and not even go grab that liquidity? I don't like that. The 10 o'clock news is manufacturing PMI. All right, the choppiness continues. Looks like market's waiting for news. I haven't seen anything yet that looks super clean. Like if you look at ES, it grabbed that London high and rejected back below the 15-minute opening range, which was cool. But that's what I was looking for to happen on NQ too. So if they both did that, I would have been all over it. But the fact that they're not quite hitting the levels cleanly at the same time, I don't like it. Stinger, that's a good question. And I noticed that too. I know you can set the DOM in Trade of 8 to show your possible P&L and possible loss if it hits your stop loss. I don't know if you can do that on the actual chart in Trade of 8. I haven't played around with it enough to be able to answer that question. I can look into it today. I'm guessing Waffles might know. Yeah, I usually just look at the DOM to see the P&L. Because if you set a stop loss or a limit order, it'll show you what the P&L is next to that. Still kind of chopping around. I hope this doesn't end up being a slow grind up kind of day. Six minutes until our last scheduled news. So this gray shaded box that we're kind of hovering around right now is what I marked off for my game plan for today. If we hold above this as support, I'll be watching for longs. If we hold below it, I'll be watching for shorts. And that's actually kind of nice because there's lots of confluence around that with our levels from today. Like we could come down to the 15-minute opening range high and bounce, and that would be holding this as support. Or if we come and like reject a VWAP and maybe retest it and go down. So that's kind of what I'm watching for. One of those types of scenarios. I hope it's not a slow grind up though. That makes it hard to trade. There you go, Stinger. Yeah, learning how to use the visible range volume profile to find your support and resistance levels can be pretty powerful. And then you just got to learn how to execute on them. Know when to trade. That's the part that took me some getting used to. No, I don't use hotkeys. It's not something I've gotten into. There you go, Maverick, getting in along. Depending on where you got in, you probably could almost move your stop loss to break even by this point. It's been grinding up. Dang, Verisat. That's pretty impressive to be able to grab 100 points in this choppiness. All right, starting to get a little rejection. News in a little less than a minute. Let's see what we get. Gosh, is that the volatility that we were waiting for? Was that seriously it? That was lame. Well, I don't feel good about taking a long just up here out in the middle of nowhere. So let's see if it pulls back a little bit. The 15-minute opening range high level would be a decent retest, or down here, I actually like, if we do get a pullback here at this like 300-ish level, it's the bottom of my high volume node support area and some VWAP confluence down there. I don't know though. That's a 60, 70 point pullback. I don't know if we'll get that. While we're waiting for a trade, you guys, if you haven't already, go hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. I do have some account giveaways starting off this week, since I don't think I did any last week. We probably won't do any today just because I haven't asked you guys for likes yet. But I have some TradeDay accounts, 50K TradeDay end of day accounts. They're actually running a sale right now. Their promotion is normally 30% off. Right now it's 40% off, no activation. They have pretty cool rules. They have daily payouts. So I like them. Go check them out with their sale right now if you're looking for a place with daily payouts. We are getting a little pullback, but still kind of just chopping around here. Let's see if we come back down to 300-ish. That would be nice. All right, I got a question for you guys. Who did some Black Friday shopping? And what did you find? What was your best deal? And do you guys Black Friday shop for yourself? Or are you buying Christmas presents for other people? That's the real question. Does anyone actually go out to like malls or to Walmart or Best Buy or any of those Black Friday kind of places that, we used to go to 15 years ago? Or does everyone just do it from their couch these days? I feel like all the same deals are available online now. Rocket 65-inch TV. I feel like that's the stereotypical Black Friday deal, right? You got to get a big screen TV. I have never gone to a store to do Black Friday shopping. I don't love shopping anyway. And I also don't love crowds. So the two together, that just sounds terrible. There's a big nutcracker market here in Houston where I live. And it's like the thing for women to do is like drink mimosas and go shopping. I went one year with some friends. Not fun. So many people, just way too many people. And then just hours of shopping. Not my thing. The mall? What am I, like 40? Well, yeah. What do they call it these days? Is it not called a mall anymore? Gosh, I don't even know. Or are you referring more to the fact that like malls are almost out of business? Still kind of chopping around. It's interesting that ES is kind of starting to pull back more, and NQ is staying right in this range. ES is coming back to the opening range high and VWAP area. See if we hit that level and then also watch what NQ is doing at the same time. Might be a decent spot there. Yeah, most of the malls are pretty much a ghost town around here. There's we have an outlet mall near us that is actually really popular, but you also can get really good deals there. Yeah, other than that, the malls are not really a good place to go shopping. I don't love where we're at right now. Because even if we do break out of this consolidation, it's not at a level that I love. If it comes back down to here, that would be decent for longs. Or if it doesn't hold that level, we could short from there. But kind of just chopping around right now. This is our initial balance high for now. Well, not anymore. All right, chat, what are you guys seeing? What are you watching for right now? Or are you just seeing ugly chop like me? ES is kind of coming down to that opening range high where it broke out, which is right where the New York anchored VWAP is. This might be a take profit, or a see profit, take profit kind of day. Not one to hold it for those really long targets. Yeah, Verisat, if this holds this support area and it doesn't drop, I could definitely see it going back up to 500, that Asia high area. The easy money is probably gone for the day. I don't know if there ever was easy money. Even right at the open, it was choppy. For me and like my trading plan, I really only saw one trade that I would have taken that bounced off of the London low. That was a nice liquidity sweep, but that was also at 9:44, so it was less than a minute before the news was supposed to release. And I'm not a fan of entering trades right then. But yeah, other than that, I haven't seen anything that I would label as an A+ easy money trade. I'm kind of surprised with it having 2 news releases today and first day back after a holiday week. I figured there'd be lots of volatility. Kind of like letting a caged animal out. I thought there'd be lots of people trading. We're clicking a button that sounds like easy money. Yeah. You're not wrong. I'm with you on that. You just have to click the right button after sitting there waiting for however long. I like where ES is coming down to. I would want to give it a little bit of room though to be able to come down to this VWAP if it does. All right, we're dropping. Again, I like where ES is, but I don't like that NQ is still kind of hovering. If NQ comes down here, I think I'd rather take that trade. ES is bouncing off of VWAP right now. Bitcoin is dumping. Yeah. Crypto's had a rough couple weeks. Come on, NQ. Just waiting for you to come a little further. That's kind of what I'm watching for, Verisat. This maybe 310, 307, somewhere around here. This is painful. Yeah. Sitting through a choppy trade like this, not fun. Definitely a good opportunity to set it and forget it. Because you said you were in at 300, so you got in back here 40 minutes ago. All right, I entered 321. I came down to VWAP where I was watching and it bounced. Probably put my stop loss right below that wick. And then target, definitely could see it coming back up to range high, but possibly even further than that. Because we've already passed London high once. I mean, it's kind of hovering below the previous London high right now. But we've already broken through that, and we have Asia high up above. I don't know if it'll go that high. Not looking great right now. Really, I'd like to see this candle close outside of this gray shaded box. That would make me feel a little bit better about the trade. I hope we break out of this consolidation choppiness at some point and get some sort of volume and momentum. I don't know if I have the patience today to sit through a 2-hour choppy trade. Oh, Verisat, you got in at 312. Look at you. Better entry than me. Olga, a couple reasons I took the long. This gray shaded box I have here was a support area. Since we moved above it, my thought was we were coming back down to retest and hopefully get continuation up. Also, we have our 15-minute opening range high, and we have both of our VWAPs in this area. But it didn't work out. The choppiness continues. I didn't have enough confluence to enter or buy there. Yeah, I mean, I felt like I did. I had 4 different reasons. That's enough for me. All right, David. Thanks for dropping by. Have a good one. Well, ES is dropping and holding below VWAP. NQ is kind of hovering. Are we going to hold here? Or is it going to get weak and drop? Does that ever happen to you guys where like my stop loss hit a couple minutes ago and then the little voice went off? All right, well, I guess it kind of just had a little fake out above that level and now we're breaking below it. Looking weak again, getting heavy now. All right, Waffles, have a good one. So at this point, wouldn't want to enter short from here just because it would feel like chasing it. So a possible liquidity grab, initial balance, failed auction opportunity down here, because we do have the Asia low down at 25,194 and the initial balance low is right above that at 25,209. So could look like something like this where it grabs that low and then we get a bounce off of it. It's interesting though how ES is already pretty much down at the initial balance low and NQ is pretty far away from it. That was a pretty big bounce. Still chopping around in the middle though. Yeah, Zach, that's kind of what I'm waiting for at this point. See if something good happens at this initial balance low area. If it ever gets down there, I don't know. There goes the plan to watch what happens at initial balance low. Why not just go back straight to Asia high from there? Why not? Let's just go back up to 540 from here. When's the next duck race? We could probably do one tomorrow or the next day. I'll post it. I usually leave a pinned comment so you guys know if we get to 100 likes, we can do a giveaway. I didn't do that today. So yeah, I can post about it tomorrow. I do have some TradeDay accounts. This just feels slow today. Like, what the heck? Does it feel that way to anyone else? Like, this feels like trading the Asia session. I think the open last night with the Asia session had more movement than this. The market has a hangover from Thanksgiving. Yeah, there's something going on. Well, I can feel myself just kind of looking for a trade at this point, and it is chopping around. I can make an argument for longs and shorts, and that's always my indication that I shouldn't be taking a trade. So what I'm going to do is set an alert at the initial balance high and the initial balance low. And for the low, if it does come down here, I'd be looking for a liquidity grab and see how it reacts off of an Asia low bounce, possibly take a long. And then up here, I mean, if we reject and sellers show up, I could be looking for a short, or this, I'd be leaning more towards a breakout long continuation, perhaps. But yeah, I don't like it right now. I'm not seeing anything. So I think I'm gonna head out, you guys. I'll be hanging out in Discord. If I see any other trades present themselves, I'll share those with you guys. But other than that, I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good one.